Hello and welcome to Commodity Champions. I'm Manisha Gupta. The precious metals have shown bright overall in 2025, reaching new peaks throughout the year. The prices of gold have risen a whopping 60% so far this year, and the yellow metal is not far from seeing its best yearly gain since 1979. This as expectations and hopes that the US Fed will cut rates, keeping demand the bullion on the higher side. The clamor for gold is equally high back home in India, owing to the festive and the wedding season demand. The silver prices, in the meanwhile, have followed suit, climbing over 98% this year, continuing the strong rally of the last 2 years. But it's not just gold and silver witnessing demand. Well, the buying trends indicate an increased interest in lower caratages and studded jewellery as well for this year. To take the conversation ahead, I'm now joined by Vikas Kataria. He's promoter at DP Abhushan. I'm also joined by Suvankar. He's MD and CEO at Senco Gold. Gentlemen, hi, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. And it clearly has been one crazy year where we have seen gold gain up by 60%, silver up 98%. So we've seen silver double up in prices as well. And I will come on both of these metals to both of you. But Suvankar, first of all, in case of gold prices, we're trading at 4,200 right now. We've seen almost 4,400 on the higher side, with the markets anticipating that we're not done with these highs. Most global banks and brokerages are talking about 4,800, 5,000 and beyond kind of prices for 2026 and 27. What is your sense? I mean, you've been in the market forever. How are you looking at these price moves?
So Manisha, if you look at the overall picture and the scenario, we feel that if gold stabilizes at these current levels, like 41, 4,200, then there is a huge possibility that the way in the last 2-3 years it has always gone up by 20-25% year on year, that trend will continue to remain, which means that this 4,200, there is a high possibility that it reaches 4,200, say 4,800. So we shouldn't be surprised that today we see gold in the Indian rupee terms at around 1,30,000 rupees, and gold getting close to 1,50,000 rupees should not be a surprise to us with the way things have been happening. Now, the logic is why it should happen. Now, we're looking at the scenario in the US. The Fed will start cutting interest rate. We will soon have a new Fed governor who will be more dovish, and there will have to be more liquidity in the market. So with more liquidity in the market, there is a little bit of uncertainty with the stock markets, and people are talking on correction at the stock market level. So there is either a shift to the safe haven demand in gold and silver, or the higher liquidity that is going to be available, Japan, US, Europe, everywhere, there is an impact on gold prices going up. So this is how I think we need to look at it. In between, yes, there could be certain 5, 7, 10% corrections here and there. That is all I can say as a buying in the dip kind of a situation. But in the long run, I think we have to stay bullish with the gold prices and as well the silver prices.
Oh, absolutely. With the way we have seen rupee decline, inflation come in, and a lot of people are talking about on how perhaps gold buying can be that hedge to inflation as well, which it always continues to be. Vikas, hi, thank you so much for coming into our studios here. As Suvankar says, it is going to be bullishness in gold prices continuing. What is your own sense for gold here?
Thank you, Manisha, for giving the opportunity. डेफिनेटली मैं सुवंकर भाई से 100% सहमत करता हूँ, क्योंकि जिस तरीके की वर्ल्ड वाइड अभी सिचुएशन चल रही है, अगर हम यूएस की बात करें या हम लोग बाकी जियोपॉलिटिकली अगर दुनिया में बात करें, तो हर जगह जिस तरीके से अनस्टेबिलिटी है, तो गोल्ड इज़ द रिजर्व करेंसी. सो सबसे पहले गोल्ड के लिए लोग जाते हैं. एंड जिस तरीके से पास अगर हम 2-3 साल पोस्ट कोविड हम देखते हैं, तो गोल्ड कंटिन्यूसली रैली कर रहा है. एंड ऐसा ही अगर सिनेरियो बना रहा, तो हमें लगता है कि कंटिन्यू गोल्ड ऊपर जाएगा. एंड ये इंडियन मार्केट में 1,50,000 भी बहुत जल्दी से हो सकता है. तो इट्स एंड ही सेड वेरी राइट कि जैसे ही अगर डीप आता है, तो इट्स अ गुड buying opportunity, तो हमेशा वो करना चाहिए.
All right. So it continues to be bullish, and it's a good buying opportunity on every dip, as we would see in case of gold. So, Suvankar, when it comes to the Indian markets itself, I mean, it is also being said that this year is going down as one of those where we are looking at higher investment demand and perhaps slight decline in jewelry. How are you reading those numbers?
Yes, the ETFs and the mutual funds and other funds have been buying into gold in a much more aggressive manner, while we see that the consumers have been a little apprehensive. So volumes में what we are seeing at our end is about a dip of 7 to 10% in terms of volumes. And value में तो देखने से अच्छा ही लगेगा, there is a around 25% to 30% increase in terms of value, but 7 to 10% decrease in terms of volume. Consumer का side से there are two behaviors. One is अगर it is 22 carat या जो भी ज्वेलरी है उसको लाइट वेट में कैसे कर सकते हैं, adding more stones to it and adding more elements to the jewelry, making it lighter. And there is a shift also in various markets where people are looking at 18 carat in the plain gold segment. Diamond jewelry maybe, there is already a good shift happening at 14 carat. 9 carat is also becoming, nice in demand for the gift segment. So the purity adjustments or the weight adjustments, this is the norm. And I think as jewelers, it is becoming a fast change that we need to do to cater to the demand of the consumer. And that's the way to look at it.
Because when we look at the Indian markets therein, we do understand that whether it's jewelry or whether it's coin or whether it's bar, it is bought as an investment. With the kind of prices that we are dealing with right now, would you say that gold perhaps is becoming way too expensive for people to buy? And as Suvankar says, is the reason people would go for lower caratages and lower weight in sense of gold?
डेफिनेटली जिस तरीके से गोल्ड प्राइस सडनली जंप किया हुआ ये साल में अगर हम देखें तो मोटा मोटी 40-50% इंक्रीज़ हुआ है एंड थोड़ा इतना तेज़ी से बढ़ने से एक जो इमीडिएटली बाइंग होता है वो कहीं ना कहीं थॉटफुल हो जाता है कि हमें इमीडिएटली लेना है या थोड़ा रुक कर लेना है. सो वो हिसाब से थोड़ा कहीं ना कहीं जो डिसीजन है वो कहीं ना कहीं हुआ है. तभी अभी 18 कैरेट काफ़ी ट्रेंड में है, 14 कैरेट एंड इवन 9 कैरेट इज इंट्रोड्यूस. प्लस जो पहले वेडिंग ज्वेलरी काफ़ी हेवी जो होती थी उसमें भी थोड़ा चेंज देखने को मिला हुआ है. एंड लाइट वेट ज्वेलरी एंड कॉन्टेम्प्रेरी ज्वेलरी में काफ़ी सारा इम्प्रूवमेंट हुआ है. जो डेली वेयर ज्वेलरी का काफ़ी परचेस होने लगा है एंड वेडिंग ज्वेलरी में भी थोड़ा लाइट कैरेटेज एंड लाइट वेट ज्वेलरी बहुत ट्रेंड में है अभी.
Because also, when you talk about the Indian markets right now, when you look at various geographies within the country as well, would you say that also is quite categorized? Because South India is still buying 22 carats. It perhaps is north part of India that is buying 18 carats, and Western India, which is experimenting.
Yeah, so even this central India, central India and the west part of the India, north part of India, everywhere the 22 carat is the favorite of the customers.
Oh,
so
right.
कितना भी gold price कितना भी ऊपर चला जाए, तो finally 22 carat is the favorite category. ठीक है, प्राइस बढ़ने के कारण एक ऑप्शन और मिल जाता है कि 18 कैरेट में भी कुछ ज्वेलरी अच्छी डिजाइन्स में बन जाती है. Okay. या जो ज्वेलरी 22 कैरेट में हैवी वेट में होती है वो 18 कैरेट में थोड़ा लाइट वेट में हो जाती है. सो वो एक और कैटेगरी इन्वर्ट हो गई है. एक और ऑप्शन कस्टमर के लिए ओपन हो गया है कि हम लोग 18 कैरेट में भी ज्वेलरी ले सकते हैं, 14 में भी ले सकते हैं. एंड इवन वी आर ट्राइंग कि हम लोग 9 कैरेट में भी जो गोल्ड का अच्छे से कलर, क्योंकि जैसे जैसे गोल्ड की प्योरिटी कम होती जाती है, गोल्ड का जो कलर होता है वो थोड़ा सा डाउन होता चला जाता है. सो वी आर ट्राइंग कि हम कुछ अच्छे से अलॉय इसमें इंट्रोड्यूस करें ताकि जो 9 कैरेट वाली ज्वेलरी वो भी ब्यूटीफुल बने एंड वो उसमें भी मजबूती हो, सारा लाइट वेट में अच्छा सा हम लोग कर सकें. सो we are always trying.
Oh, absolutely. So, Suvankar, I do understand that you also have come out with a wedding collection. What is it that the theme is working in like right now? Because we understand every year is different, and this year we are facing very, very high gold prices. How have you and what are you looking at?
So this wedding collection that we've come up with based on the geographic zone. So whether it's south, there is a specific styling of temple. Whether it's east, it's the filigree. अगर north है तो kundan jarao, and west के लिए भी polki kundan. And we have tried, just trying to understand the consumer behavior. हम लोग जैसे 22 कैरेट में lightweight. So everything we are trying to range is between 25 to 50 grams. So this is how we are trying to push forward for the weight range, ताकि लोगों के अंदर एक अगर पैकेज खरीदना हो, वो 20 लाख का पैकेज हो या 50 लाख का पैकेज हो या 10 लाख का पैकेज हो, उसके अंदर आना चाहिए. एंड वी आर ऑल्सो गिविंग एन ऑप्शन टू द कंज्यूमर कि आपको 18 कैरेट में भी चाहिए तो 18 कैरेट में भी अराउंड 10 लाख में वेडिंग पैकेज होना चाहिए. सो द फुल वैरायटी बेस्ड ऑन द मार्केट ट्रेंड हम लोग दे रहे हैं. सो दिस इज द होल थीम विद व्हिच वी आर ड्राइविंग द दिस सीजन्स वेडिंग, एंड इट इज बिकमिंग वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. जैसे विकास भाई ने बताया कि when it comes to polki, when it comes to diamond, when it comes to kundan, then where the gold element is lower, it is more logical कि उसको हम लोग 18 कैरेट प्योरिटी में करें, 14 कैरेट. When it's plain gold, जहाँ पे गोल्ड ज्यादा दिख रहा है और ज्यादा है, कंज्यूमर थोड़े देखते हैं कि 22 कैरेट लूं कि 18 कैरेट लूं, डिपेंडिंग ऑन द बजट. सो दिस इज द वे वी आर ट्राइंग टू पुट it on the weight range focus.
So, Ankur, also the other thing is that the diamond prices have more or less consolidated. They're off their 2022 highs, much lower than those kind of levels. Is diamond doing better this time this year? And how are you also looking at lab-grown as a segment? Because even as we're looking at diamond consolidating, there are very strong inroads that we've seen the lab-grown diamond as a category making.
So in diamond, what has happened is that the way we have seen a jump in the price of gold, that jump is not there in diamond. So we see a volume growth as well as a value growth in diamond. But if for example, in gold, we are seeing a 25-30% jump in terms of value, in diamond, both volume and value is gone up by, say, 10 to 15%. So customer ka budget mein, gold is taking away the largest of the pocket. And diamond jewelry is not really taking that pocket because gold में ही वो मतलब ज्यादातर चला जा रहा है. And growth कंज्यूमर कब खरीद रहे हैं डायमंड? एक है कि डेली वेयर के लिए, एवरीडे वेयर के लिए जो सेगमेंट है, गोल्ड में उतना कुछ अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है, तो 14 कैरेट 18 कैरेट के साथ डायमंड में खरीद रहे हैं. या तो वेडिंग सीजन में वी कैन सी दैट पोल्कीज एंड कलर्ड स्टोन्स एंड डायमंड्स, वो एक अच्छा सेगमेंट है जो आई थिंक इज हेल्पिंग द डायमंड सेल्स टू ग्रो. सो दिस इज हाउ इट इज. बट इन्वेस्टमेंट माइंडसेट गोल्ड में ही है. अगर कोई खरीदने जाए कि अरे मेरे को फ्यूचर के लिए गोल्ड का प्राइस बढ़ रहा है, तो वो सोच गोल्ड के साथ ही है. व्हेन इट कम्स टू डायमंड, पीपल आर स्टिल अ लिटिल hesitant that whether the prices will go up or not. And lab grown diamond has taken some amount of business, but still it's a very minimal, I would say, single digit share of the overall pie. But when we see destination weddings or people buying for experimenting and design, they are looking at the lab grown diamond for the bigger sizes of diamonds. But more so, still natural diamonds has a much larger chunk and market share.
All right, so the natural diamond continue to be a major chunk, and people are buying gold, but they're buying gold in sense of investment as well. And people who are buying lower categories perhaps are going more towards fashion jewelry or for better designs. Gentlemen, do stay on with us. We will come back and ask you about silver as well. And of course, we'll talk about the expectations that 2026 brings in for us when it comes to gold, silver and jewelry after this break.